Welcome back to Redline Routine, where we have another video on my B7 Audi RS4 here. So everyone has their thoughts on these cars. Some people think they're awesome. Some people think they're the most unreliable thing in the world and all they do is break and cost you money. And mine's done a little bit of both. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna split this video into two categories. Things that have gone wrong since I purchased it that have been fixed, and the things that are still going wrong that I'm going to fix eventually. So we'll start off with things that have gone wrong previously and have been fixed. So the first biggest part of that would be the DRC suspension. The DRC suspension worked great for the first 4 months I owned it, and then I came out one day to the car in my garage, and a nice puddle of hydraulic fluid underneath it. So following that, I did some research online. I was debating whether to get that DRC fixed, whether to switch to coilovers or an aftermarket solution like that. And then I actually took it into Audi and got a quote for them to replace the DRC system. And they wanted to import the line from Europe. They needed to bleed the entire system. They wanted to check everything. And the total for that quote to fix one little DRC line that broke was $4,000. And that was no good. That's way too much money to fix a small suspension thing. So what I did, I went to Bilstein coilovers. It was 1,600 bucks delivered to my door. I installed it myself, which was awful, to be honest, because this is a car that's lived in Canada and Canadian winters its whole life. So everything underneath it is very rusty and seasy and not a lot of fun to work on. But after many, many hours in the garage, I got it fixed and the built-in suspension has been performing great since then. So let's pop the hood. So back last August, I bought this car. And on the first drive on the way home, I got the dreaded EPC light. And freaking out as I was, I took the car to Audi and they diagnosed it as just a simple vacuum leak, as well as the intake manifold flaps being stuck and the car needing a carbon clean, which is quite common on these direct injection V8s. They need a carbon clean every about 50,000 kilometers. So I had to do that carbon clean. I had to get the vacuum leak fixed, as well as I got an intake manifold spacer installed, which allegedly increases horsepower. I don't know what it did, but it was cheap, so I did it while I was in there. Once those vacuum leaks were fixed and the intake manifold flaps were running right, I did the correct thing and I removed them because they're stupid and they shouldn't have been installed in the car in the first place. So I removed those intake manifold flaps and they'll never be stuck again, even though sometimes the actuator tells me that they're still stuck and I get an engine light, even though they're in a baggie in my garage, so it's impossible for them to be stuck. Just confused Audis like to do their thing. And then another thing that I had to fix, you just lift this carbon piece off here, which looks terrible, might I add. This right here, the purge valve, that started just leaking all sorts of evap gases out of it. So I had to eventually fix that and replace it. 20 bucks off Amazon, nice and easy, never have to think about it again. Or if I do, it's another 20 bucks off Amazon, not an issue. Now, moving on to the worst culprit of this, the rust. Maybe add that to the list. Now, this being an 18-year-old Audi and living in Canada for all its life, it's had some rust problems and still does. Now, if we take a little lap around here, this section, pretty good. It gets worse as we move back. This fender, it's hard to see in some lights, but there's a bunch of little pitting and little bit of rust bubbles that are starting, especially this spot down here. Not quite too good. Moving around, we got another one here. That's a pretty juicy one. I don't like the look of that one or think about it. Then coming to the trunk here, they've got a nice one here for our RS4 badge. So I can't even take any nice photos of the RS4 badge because it's got this ugly rust blob in the way. And then it likes to balance it out. So we got one over there and then one over here just to keep it equal all around the car. Moving around, this side, however, looking good. Got no rust on it right there. Until you move forward, then there's more rust. Look right here, that spot. Not too great. And then also this door blade is quite bad. It's a common issue with these cars because another terrible Audi design. They made the door blade, water gets in between them, the rust bulges it out, you get rust pushing. It looks terrible, and that's why this is kicked out at the end here. And if you look on the inside here, that's not too good. Moving forward, this is arguably, I'd say, one of the worst rust spots on the whole car. Right on this fender here, it's because of these door blades, the water gets stuck in there and it has nowhere to go. So what does it do? It creates rust and bubbles, which is not good. But in the coming months, hopefully in spring here, or maybe I'll get a quote over winter, I'm planning to get this rust fixed or maybe even the whole car painted, depending on the price, because as we all know, money doesn't grow on trees and paint is expensive. But it's not that bad. The frame is still in fairly good shape, or subframe, I should say. But the body, sometimes I catch it in the light and it's like, oh, it makes me a little bit sad. So I want to get that fixed up. I want to get that cleaned up. And that's another very important thing to consider if you're looking at buying one of these cars, especially if you're in a place that gets rust, is door blades, because Audi doesn't even make that part anymore. So you have to pull it off of a B6 A4 and try to get it to line up and paint match it, and it's a whole ordeal. So try to find one that lives in California or something like that would be perfect. Now, the final thing on the front of this car, if you look at the headlights, you have a beautiful one and a horrible one. Now this one, a little bit of moisture has got inside because that a little door where you can change your light bulb was not fully sealed when I bought the car. So finger wag to the last owner for not sealing that up, because now that headlight got a bunch of moisture in it and you got to take the whole front end apart and rebuild the headlights to get to that. I'll probably throw new lenses on them, and I also plan to take out those amber corners because I think they look awful. And it really sharpens up the front end, makes it look a little bit more modern once you get those things out. So last part of the front end is that headlight. It's hideous. All right, so the final thing that's kind of still a hindrance on this car, not that much of an issue because I live in Canada and it's winter half the year, but in the summer when it was 30 degrees and I'm in this dark gray car with a black interior and I go to turn on my AC with this little econ button here, and it doesn't work. It stays disengaged and refuses to engage. It's no fun. I was sweating in here. It was hot. It was gross. So that's something I'm going to address over the winter. I believe it's just going to be a solenoid, which is not that expensive and not that hard to fix. So pray it's not more, because a full AC compressor kit is expensive for these things. So pray it's just a solenoid and we'll fix it over the winter, or I'm just going to be a windows down kind of guy and we're just going to run no AC forever. Or no air. Now, going over all those things, you might be a little scared to buy one of these, but in reality, it's not that bad. It's kind of what you're going to expect for buying any car of this age, any Audi, any BMW, anything like that. But despite the chaos, I love this thing. It's an absolute missile with 4 doors. I can put my friends in it, can put my dog in it. Not that I have yet, because I think he might ruin the leather seats, but if he was more behaved, I could put him in it. Other than that, I think this car is absolutely great, and you might pay a little bit sometimes for a couple of maintenance repairs, but at the end of the day, that's part of owning an Audi. So let me know what other videos you want to see on this car, whether that be fixing all the things I just mentioned, or if you want some driving clips or just some half-an-hour exhaust sounds, because everyone loves that. Anyways, thanks very much for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down low if you have any other suggestions for us. Take care. Oh, I wish I split it in 2 segments.